Welcome to the Information Systems Auditor Protection of Information Asset course. This course is the fifth of the 5 courses that will help you prepare for the CISA, or Certified Information Systems Auditor examination. This first module will look at an overview of what is then covered in this course. This course is worth 25% of the CISA examination, or about 38 questions in total. In this course, we are going to look at ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of both information and of information systems. We'll take a look at physical security design and network security design. We'll also review the importance of data classification and protection, as well as how to audit information protection measures. The objective of this course is to ensure that each one of us has a clear understanding, as well as the ability to provide assurance to management of the enterprise's security policies, procedures, and controls. This will ensure that our IT systems and our information are protected according to business needs and regulatory requirements. The key tasks to be performed in performing then an IT audit would include evaluating the policies and procedures that are in place, checking and reviewing the physical and environmental security issues. We'll take a look at technical or logical security and how that plays an important role in our information security protection. We'll review the processes and procedures related then to data classification and therefore the protection of those classified information assets. A key underlying theme, though, through this entire program is to ensure that our IT systems and our data are there to be secure, but in a way that is aligned then with business objectives. When we review the whole principles and concepts of information security management, we often use that triad of confidentiality and integrity and availability as a way to understand what security is. But it's important that security is an element of business. It's not an objective on its own. Our goal as we audit information and information systems is to ensure that the investment our organization has made in information security is truly aligned with the vision and goals of the business and where the business is trying to go. We also have to provide assurance to management that we are compliant with the laws and regulations that apply to us in the industry we're in. This requires then the adequate and responsible protection of information assets, something we looked at earlier when we talked about governance and oversight. Information must be protected certainly at all times, but also in all forms, whether it's paper or electronic, whether it's in transit or in storage. This means it's also protected in all locations. Information security, therefore, is all about maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our information and information systems. The systems are to be designed to meet the information security requirements. However, they must then continue to be operated and maintain that level of security all the way through that system life cycle. This requires that we continuously monitor the security environment. We're aware of changes in threats and exposure of new vulnerabilities. We understand the importance of changes in asset value. And when we look at information security, it's all about ensuring that we know where we could possibly have a vulnerability. A vulnerability is a weakness or a gap in our information security fabric. And that fabric must be patched. We must address those vulnerabilities as we identify them. We also need the ability to detect and then respond to attacks when they do happen. We know that all of our systems today should be built with the expectation that they will be attacked. Therefore, we should be wary and watchful to see when those attacks happen, that we can, try to detect them as quickly as possible, and then respond effectively as well. An important part of information security is access control. We need to control access to our IT assets. This is based a lot on what is the real or intrinsic value of the data we have. Most organizations have vast amounts of data, and that data is essential for business operations. The value of the data is then often determined by its need to be accurate and reliable. Is that information precise? Is that information complete? Is it unbiased and objective? Is the information we have believable, true, credible? Is it something which is defensible? And also, we have to look at the impact on reputation. Is the information we use from a trusted source? Has it been created from a trusted process? This will help us to determine the value of the data to our organization. But what is the value of the data to the user? In other words, in its context of how the data will be used on a daily basis. Is the data itself intelligible? Is it clear? Could we say that the data that we are providing is relevant to that which is really necessary for the task at hand? Is it complete? Do we have sufficient depth and breadth of the information to be able to provide our users with a complete picture of what they need to be able to execute their job functions properly? We also have to strive to keep our data current, up to date, must be accurate in that way. We also look at, do we have the appropriate amount of data? Sometimes the problem today is we have too much data. The quantity of data that's out there makes it very difficult for someone to be able to find what is truly important and filter out that which is necessary for them to be able to, of course, use effectively. So a lot of this comes into our data being concise, to the point, compact, delivered in a way that is appealing and useful to the user. It is also important, especially when we do audits, that we do things in a consistent manner. The data is represented in reports in the same format and the same style from one reporting period to another, for example. The consistency of the data often will improve then the integrity of the process. We also have to make sure the data means something. When the user receives that data, can they clearly interpret what that data represents? In other words, are there clear definitions? Is it understandable to the user and well comprehended? And is it easy for them to use, adaptable for the tasks and responsibilities that they have? Or is the data in a very difficult, obtuse format that is difficult to understand, in many cases, prone to errors through the translation and use of that data? It's also important that our data is accessible when needed. This is where we look at the security and accessibility quality of data, which measures really the extent to which the data is obtainable or available when necessary for the user. Is the data available in a timely manner? Can it be retrieved easily and when required? Do we have the proper access control in place to make sure that access to data is very definitely restricted then to authorized parties?